Hey guys, my name is Daniel and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I would like to share some of my experiences from bachelor studies. First, we will focus on the choice of the bachelor's field of study. The first and the most important thing when we think about where our next steps will lead in high school, it's not an easy decision for most of us. We are around 18 years old and we are about to decide where our future lives are going to go. If you ask most of the more experienced people, it certainly wasn't an easy decision for them, because for most of us, these were decisions that shapes the next few years of our lives. A good place to start is with what we are personally interested in, both in our personal life and in our school life. It can easily happen that what interests us in our personal lives may not be the same as what you enjoy in school. For example, you may be a talented and determined athlete or skilled graphic designer who loves to create. Or on the other hand, you may have been fulfilled in high school by math, physics, chemistry. It's important to think about what is really interesting to you and what you enjoy. It's not directly about whether you're good at it, but it depends on whether you have the commitment to put in the time and effort. It's important to remember that without being interested in the industry, studying will be many times harder. I like to compare it to myself. When it came to deciding where my next steps would lead, because I was determined to go to university, I was very passionate about sport at that time and spent a lot of my free time there. On the other hand, I really enjoyed physics and chemistry at school, especially the practical ones, where I first realized how much chemistry and physics affects us in a practical life. The fact that I had the opportunity to see how things work and where we can encounter them in practice made it clear that I wanted to study a technical field. After a while, it turned out to be some kind of mechanical engineering, but at the same time I struggled in my head with the idea that sport was my number one priority. I had to sort out my thoughts when it came to those ideas of what would be my future livelihood, what was security in life and other possibilities. The winner at the time was studying at the university with a technical focus, and I had to decide to where to go. I would like to go back to thinking about what field to choose because there are so many options nowadays. The winner at that time was studying at a university with a technical focus, and I had to decide where to go. I would like to go back to thinking about what field to choose, because there are so many options nowadays, and as I said, it's not about deciding what you're best at the moment, but what you are the most passionate about and are able to dedicate the time and effort to learn the subject matter and things related to it. It might also make the decision easier to talk to someone more experienced, whether that's your family or teachers at school, for example, or you can ask people specifically at the university where the subject is taught. As I said, it became a final decision for me to study bachelor's at the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. I like the practical applicability I was looking for behind any theory. It was the application of theory to practice, which is primarily taught at the university, that became incredibly interesting. It was the application of theory to practice, which is primarily taught at that university, that became incredibly interesting to me, because then you see that things are incredibly interconnected and you can explain even complex things with elementary laws and wave them together into one big wall. If we have made up our minds about what we would like to study and what we would enjoy studying, then comes the choice of the university itself. There are like 25,000 universities in the world. For example, not every university specializes in teaching the subject you would be interested in. There are universities that are more humanities oriented, or on the other hand more technical oriented. There are of course universities, especially the larger ones, that have many faculties under them and cover all disciplines. Other aspect may be the location of the university. Of course, if you have a good university in your state where you live, or even in your city, it makes sense to apply to study at that university. Another aspect may be the prestige of the university. The deciding aspect is how prestigious the university is in global ranking, as it offers a better education, better professors, a better environment for studying. Furthermore, after graduation, the degree in front of your name is all the more prestigious and can help you get a better job. Last but not least, financing your studies also plays a big role, as the amount of tuition fees can be crucial in terms of funding from your point of view. Next, in terms of funding, it may be the possibility of getting a scholarship, as not everyone would like to live with a large university debt that needs to be repaid. If we have already identified a particular university or universities, we also need to look at the faculty where you would like to apply, because not only the prestige of the university plays a role, but also the prestige of the faculty where you will be studying plays a huge role. It is the fact that you can have a smaller universities with faculties that have excellent prestige and also have a professors teaching there who are top in their field. The first semester, or maybe the whole first year at university, is a time of great change. The style of teaching, which consists of lectures and practicals, is different from the traditional high school classroom. It's also very much about you and only you, how you manage your time and priorities. Studying, it's also a lot about friends and classmates who can help you in times of difficulty, help you studying, or if you eventually forget something, it can say from my own experience that studying without a good classmates would be many times harder. Don't be surprised if you don't know what to do and how to do it from the beginning. Also, don't be afraid to take advantage of the resources the university is already putting in place to help new students. From my own experience, I have to say that the type of study suited me a lot. I always liked to manage my own priorities and time. It suited me that I could plan a lot of things, as also unlike high school there were no unannounced exams and testing. I knew about everything ahead of time, so again I could take my time to prepare and learn. What is a big surprise to me was the passage of time at the university. The semester was 13 weeks long, and then 4 to 5 week exam period started. I soon found out that slacking off the whole semester and then learning everything in a few weeks was not a good option. Regular and continuous work was the key to success for me. Also, don't be discouraged if you take downright theoretical courses throughout your undergraduate studies, especially in the first year. I have to say, after the experience of my bachelor and master studies, that all practical knowledge comes from the theoretical basics. Especially in my case, when I studied mechanical engineering, everything comes from mathematics and physics. Therefore, at the beginning, the math and physics portion surprised me a bit, but I quickly got used to it. Of course, the first exam period was also a bit difficult for me. With something like 1,000 students in the first year, it was designed to divide the students quickly. I mean, after the first year at the university, something like 300 students dropped out. I was the lucky one in the end, and I survived my first year at the university. The following years I got used to it, and it was no surprise to me. I would also like to reflect on the choice of subjects and individual courses that take you through your studies. A view that I don't entirely share is the path of least resistance, I would say, as it doesn't get you anywhere in life and you don't gain the kind of knowledge that you do with subjects that really interest you and are useful. It also shapes your future focus and potential future studies if you decide to go further. From my point of view, I enjoy the courses just focused on material science the most. After all, it was these subjects that made me decide on the job and the topic of my PhD thesis. Past exams and grades are one thing, but let's not forget about the projects and theses that are written at the university. At my university, the projects have always been focused with a good practical overlay. You can see that in the final thesis, which I chose to do with a practical application, because that's what they ask most often in the interview. What is the topic of your final thesis and what's the overlap and implications? Student life on university can be very rich. You can join many student societies, which can also make you more valuable in the job market. For example, you can use the space to help with your research at the university and deepen your knowledge in science and research, or you can participate in a student society to develop a student formula, as it was just at my university. Of course, many universities also offer sports opportunities, and you can represent the university and play for the university teams. There is a huge amount of opportunities, and it's another thing you can put on your CV and a way to learn something new. Don't forget to share the video among your friends, classmates, and help this channel grow. I will look forward to seeing you on the next video, and stay curious.